Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with a new tutorial, and this time I have my beautiful fellow makeup artist. Her name is Carol, and I wanted to do a tutorial on somebody with light skin, so let's get started. I'm starting off on her brows. As you can see, her brows are sparse in the middle, so I'm going to just overall make her brows thick. This is how she does her brows too, so I was just trying to really get her brows how she gets them, especially because she's a makeup artist. I was like, I'm just going to do her brows how she gets them. But this is the best way to do her brows, because if we were to make the brows thin, we would have to worry about concealing all of the hair on the bottom, and it wouldn't be aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So we make the brow nice and full, and now I'm using my Morphe brush in 224, and I'm using MAC NC30 concealer to highlight underneath her eyebrow. I'm using the same shade to shape out the top of her brow as well. Now I'm taking my BH Cosmetics Studio Blending Brush, and I'm just tapping that concealer into her skin. Now we're moving on to the P. Louise base, and I'm using shade number 3, and I'm going to use that to base her eyelids. So I'm going in with my Anastasia Soft Glam palette, and I'm going to use this light warm brown, and I'm using that as my transition shade. And she has deep set eyes, so when she opens her eyes, a lot of the shadows that you put in the crease will disappear. So you want to make sure that you're going a little bit above where her eye naturally creases. You're going to keep building the color up on each side. I'm going in with a cool tone brown, and I'm going to be using this to darken up her crease. Now I'm just blending those two colors together. Going in with my MAC 252 brush, I'm taking the P. Louise base in shade number 2, and since her eye already naturally folds because she has deep set eyes, I'm making sure that I'm cutting her crease exactly where her eye creases. So when she opens her eye, you don't see the crease too high. I hope that makes sense, but when you're dealing with deep set eyes, you don't want to cut the crease too high. You want to cut it exactly where their eye naturally folds, so that when they open their eye, it looks pleasing. The crease will disappear when they open their eyes. You'll only see it when they blink or if they look down. Now I'm going in with my smaller MAC brush 248 to just sharpen up and define those lines. Now I'm going in with this light gold shade and I'm going to be pressing that all over her lid. I'm taking the color that I used to darken her crease and I'm using that on the outer portion of her eye. I'm just tapping that color in to bring it into the gold. For the inner corner of her eye, I'm going to be using a pigment and I'll have the website down below of which pigment I used. And now I'm going to be adding glitter to the center of her lid. If you watched my last video, then you know that I use my fingers to apply the lash glue onto the lid, and then I use the brush to apply the glitter. The brush I'm using is a Morphe 224 brush. It's my favorite brush to apply pigments and glitter. Now I'm just going in and smoking out the outer corners a little bit more just to add more depth. So now we're moving on to skin, which I know this part has been very anticipated. I get a lot of questions about how I do lighter skin. So for her foundation, I'm using NARS Radiance foundation in the shade Vallauris. And I'm taking my foundation brush and I'm tapping the foundation in as usual. And this foundation was a pretty close match, but it wasn't 100% exact. You're never one foundation color. So after I get that all blended in, I take Barcelona by NARS and I use that in the center of her face, which is a little bit more of a neutral shade. And I make sure that I take it all the way up to her eyes because she also has deep set under eyes and there's shadows underneath her eyes. And since the foundation is full coverage, it's going to cancel out most of the shadowing she has underneath her eyes. I hope that makes sense. This is an alternative to color correcting. I'd rather just do it with full coverage foundation. Now to add that gold back into her skin because she does have a nice golden undertone and it kind of got washed out, I'm going to take a Lancome foundation. I'll have the shade down below. And I'm going to add it to her, basically the perimeter of her face. So her forehead, her cheekbones, her jawline, around her chin. This is not contouring. I'm just simply bringing back color and warmth into her skin that was naturally there before the foundation kind of washed everything out. Now I'm going in with MAC concealer in NC30 and NC35, and I'm using that to highlight her under eye. The lighter color is directly underneath her eye and the darker color is underneath the lighter color. This is similar to what I did in my highlight and contour video. I'm taking that foundation brush and I'm blending the concealer out underneath her contours, her chin, and her forehead. And then I'm going to take my smaller setting brush and I'm going to blend down the bridge of her nose and under her eyes as well. Tapping the concealer in gets the product nice and tacky. You get more of a fuller coverage and you have to rely less on the powder to set your concealer. Now I'm taking my Luscious by Lens powder and I'm using the medium beige and I'm using that to set and bake underneath her eyes. Now we're going to be bronzing the skin. I'm using MAC's Give Me Sun to add warmth back into her skin. I'm using this as a bronzer and as a contour. Now I'm going in with Laura Mercier's Loose Glow Powder in the medium shade, and I'm using this to bronze her cheeks even more. It's time to now melt the powder. I'm going to take my same foundation brush and tap that powder into her skin. For blush, we're using Orgasm by NARS. Now we're moving on to the under eye. I'm taking the P. Louise base to prime her lower lash line before adding that same gray tones underneath her eye just to smoke her bottom eye out, just to make it more intense and make the color of her eyes pop more. She has green eyes, so this is going to make her eyes pop. Adding some mascara on the bottom. By the way, my favorite mascara is Wet n Wild. And now I'm going to add some glitter just for a little bit of sparkle. It brings texture, it just makes it elevates the look, and you're not really doing much. You're just adding a little bit of glitter. She's looking cute. So for her lips, we're using Cork by MAC, and then we're using Lust Lip Gloss with a topper by Anastasia for some shimmer. Moving on to highlight, I'm using the Laura Mercier Loose Powder in Translucent. You guys are going to see this powder a lot. It's a new favorite. It's a new holy grail. I'm using that to highlight her cheeks. And she's done. Oh my god, isn't she so pretty? Like, I love her. She looks so pretty. But yeah, guys, this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really enjoyed doing this. I wanted to do this so bad because I just wanted to show like different skin tones on my channel, and I can't wait to keep showing you guys variety. And I really hope you learned something new from watching this video. If you take one thing from this video, I'll be happy. Don't forget to comment down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye.